Well, hello, my beautifuls. I'm doing well this afternoon, this evening. Freshly showered, bed Betty. It's back by you guys tonight. I hope you guys are doing that. No, I'm just joking. I should stop. I should stop. Delilah had a wonderful time today. I was home a little early. And as I was getting home a few hours ago, I realized we had a break in the case. One of my mods had sent it to me. I had been aware of this for a while, but, you know, I also watch other content creators when we have some breaking news just to get a clear understanding. And quite frankly, I'm not sure this really surprises our group over here too much. I mean, in all honesty, give me guys just a second. I'm trying to get you guys situated here. We kind of came, I probably should have came a little earlier, but, you know, I was watching some Plunder. I was watching some of, where are we? Get you guys up here. I was watching a little bit, well, Angelina, well, no, not Angelina. Annette Levy. There we go. Good gracious. If I can speak. We didn't get over here. Let's see what we got. Got this. We did good. Hold on. Let's see if we can get that ever so slightly. There we go. Hopefully that stays on all of our pages there. If not, oh well. Hopefully we have some backgrounds. Do we have some backgrounds? We do have some backgrounds. Okay, guys. So the husband, the ex-husband, we were talking about Michael. Somebody was in the chat. Oh my goodness. Let's get this thing up here. I don't want to put that. Okay, yeah, we don't want to do that. God, I sound like this is snotty little, you know, just a snotty little thing. And I adjusted my camera. So let me get this. All right, there we go. All right, folks. We've got the man. We are watching this today. It is a man. There he is. They are saying this man behind me is Dr. Michael McKee. Now, while we were on here the other day, somebody piped in here and said, hey, Betty, you know what? We have a doc, Dr. McGee, that married a guy. Maybe that explains why this was such a short wedding. And we started looking through that, and they explained I was watching Plunder. Plunder does amazing work, amazing research. I trust her work. Been watching her for years. Hey, Freeside, I hope you're doing well. And so she's been doing this stuff for years. I've grown to trust her work. Her work has always been just top-notch, you know, over the top, always above expectation in research, okay? Plunder is amazing at research work, period. When I hear it from Plunder, I know that, you know, that there's mistakes to be had from anybody, right? She's not a perfect human being, but I know how hard she works. I've been watching her for years work very hard to get information, and be careful in this new day of everybody being highly offended in true crime. Like, you would think that they'd be highly offended with the suspects, not the people talking about the cases or bringing avocation. But, you know, at the end of the day, she's even had her own fair share of haters and mean people that kind of try to control some of the stuff she does. But at the end of the day, she does get some information out. She didn't want to dox or do anything with Michael McKee, but there was so much misinformation around the doctor, including that he ran off and married some guy, you know, 6 months after their divorce, it was untrue, she found out. And we did find out who he was. Now, the first time I had seen him, if you guys recall, I thought, you know, his build does kind of match a little bit. And we even went through some of the reasons why. Now, it was one of several different theories I had because, you know, the case is new. It's very fluid. The information can really come out, you know, trickle out. So how you try to find avenues for leads in places is to look is by coming up with several legitimate theories of what this could be, from it being a business, right? We talked about, maybe a partner in a business. We kind of eliminated that really quickly because we got to hear the 911 call, and his boss, the owner of the business, was the one that called him in missing. So we were, no free side, no, he shouldn't be, no. I talked to him outside of this chat. So be easy, folks, be easy. And long story short is we talked about several different theories from the potential affair. We talked about the potential affair today, and while I explained that it's for me, highly unlikely to be an affair, we still did, entertain that. But one of the things that we were able to eliminate very, very quickly was this business, something potentially about like business and like a greed aspect, right? And we even talked about, maybe some family wanting to borrow money and maybe they didn't come through with them. Maybe they were tired of bailing them out. So there was multiple theories that we brought up. But as soon as people started saying, hey, this is something related to this guy leaving her and all this other stuff. And I'm like, nah, I don't think it's going to be quite like that. I should have one of the mods in here. Mods, if you guys have the ability, I don't know if I have my moderation set for 20 minutes or not. If it's not set for 20 minutes, if everything's good in the chat, then pictures frame AI crime scene. I don't know what that means, Eric Dean. Aren't those people from picture frames AI crime scene? I'm not sure what you're talking about, but we're kind of getting in there. But it's nice to see. It's nice to see. If somebody could change that moderation to 20 minutes, if you guys need it. If you don't, everybody's playing nice in here, then let them play nice. But if people are getting a little out of hand or anything like that, please make those modifications and adjustments. All right, without further ado, it is Michael McKee, okay? He didn't run off and I even said, we sat there when we went over Plunder's statement, I'm like, so this is the guy, so that's not the reason. Like, anybody would have thought that would be a reason, right? We hear that they've, were together throughout, like, it sounds like throughout his medical schooling, right? They were together quite a long time. I think from 2012 to 2015 when they got married, and then they were married for 7 months, and then 6 weeks they were divorced. Something happened and they were divorced. And so when you first heard about, the husband, they got the wrong Michael McKee, okay? I want to make sure you guys all know that they got the wrong Michael McKee when they were doing research. And I heard about this, and I'm like, oh, when I first heard it, naturally, I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense, why they had a quick marriage and a very, very quick and quiet divorce. And I'm like, okay. And then I ran across Plunder's statement, and Plunder was like, no, you guys have got the wrong McKee. This is not the same guy. It's not the same guy. And so we went and read what she had said about the husband. Actually, you know what? Let me get on her page right now. It's on Facebook. Let me get on her page right now, and we will read the exact statement that she made. Now, if it does kind of slag the system down, bear with me, guys. We're kind of outgrowing our equipment right now, and I've got it manageable, but we to the great hearts of some people in our community here, we are getting some new equipment to come in to help alleviate some of the pressure on the system, and I hope we'll have a better quality video. We have some we're going to be getting by. We're going to keep building. We need a lot of new equipment, okay? This equipment that we've got now is just not working. So while I'm pulling this up, if we do have some lagging, please, folks, just bear with it. Let it work its way out. If my voice gets all hinky, just put some stop signs. I promise you I will see it, even if I don't acknowledge it or you can't hear me acknowledging it. I acknowledge it. Just stay put until we get through the little hiccup. But so far, since I've dropped the vertical live stream, everything has been working well. I would like to incorporate that vertical live stream back in, but until we do, this is kind of where we're at with this whole situation. So I hope you guys are okay with that. Can I do that after the fact? Let me see if I can do this after the fact. I cannot do that after the fact. That kind of sucks a little bit. Okay. So let's go to Plunder Studio, I think it was, and we'll read the statement just so you guys are all aware what was said about Michael McKee, and then we'll get up to the new information because we now know he is the one that did this. And I remember hearing about this. I wasn't so, far away from this being a possibility, because I had even brought up in the chat that, this might be a situation where, he's saying that's my wife, that's my life, that's my house, that's my children. Like, that's what they were supposed to have if it wasn't for this particular event. And this particular event was so rough that, he's always pondered it or something, because you see a major difference. Like, we're looking at his mugshot, and I think Plunder picked up on it very, very well. He looks almost demonic now, kind of like Rex Heuermann. You guys, if you guys remember the younger Rex Heuermann, because he was kind of a big guy anyways, but most of the guys that are big guys are big old teddy bears. But the man he is now, with the chiseled face and the demonic look and the sunken in jaw, he looks Rex Heuermann looks demonic, to me. Looks demonic to me. Just like this Michael McKee almost looks demonic to me. And when you look at photos previously, he didn't look like that. He looked like he had a soul. And now he looks soulless. So let me find that one statement. Columbia Police. Let me see if I can search her channel. I know I can, because I remember her writing this. So please just bear with me, folks. I am super, super sorry. Let me go. Oh, that's probably what I did wrong right there. I didn't go into her channel. Hold on here, because I know it was we just read it, what, yesterday? Let me see here. Okay. Oh, this girl stays busy. Okay, 20 years now. Okay, here it is. It came in on January 8th. There's a lot of information. I think we're going to put this up here, and then I think we might actually stay on Plunder's site just, for a little bit. Let me find this so we can get this over. Okay. Is that good? Okay. So let me get this up here. Plunder Studio. Let me see how that looks behind my... So we're going to be up here, okay? So this is where we're going to start right there. Monique Tepe's ex-husband. So I want to read this to you just so that you all have... Oops, I lost my There we are. It's nice to see you. MJ, Denise, the Real Me 2B Betty fan. If Pebbles is in the house, big shout out to you. Passion Flower, Phil, Deanna, Sammy, Mama Bear. It's nice to see you, Crystal Pistol. If you guys are just coming in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. But we are talking about the dentist and his wife, Spencer and Monique Tepe. And we are learning today that they did make an arrest, and they arrested Monique's first husband, her ex-husband from 5 years ago. The one that she had the quickie divorce from, married. They were together for like 3 years. They get married, and within 7 months, they get a very, very much quickie divorce. She walks away from everything, just wants her rings, her truck, and to be on her way. She didn't want anything. They had quite a lot of assets that they've, amassed between the two of them. They had several vehicles. He had a house in Virginia, and something happened. And as violent as this is, it really does kind of make me wonder if he snapped on her and scared her for her life. And she's like, if he did that to me once before, maybe he'll do that again. People were saying, Sandy, people were saying he married another man, but I don't think he did. Everybody's information was wrong. So I'm about to read this to you guys. Hey, brown chicken. It's nice to see you. So I'm about to read this up here to you guys so you guys get a clear understanding, because I know that prior to this, there was a lot of misinformation on her ex-husband, and many people confused him as a felon or this guy that ended up marrying his gay lover like a few months after their divorce, which kind of would make sense for a quickie, divorce if you're not with the person you really love and you find this thing out about yourself, maybe you made a mistake because of family and pressure, and so I mean it could have fit, but it just was the wrong guy. And Plunder clarified it on January 8th, a couple days ago. So for everybody just to be on the same page, I just want to take a few moments and read this to you, okay? So here's what Plunder said. She said, Monique Tepe's husband video. Viewers find it strange that she bought her own wedding ring. An analysis of an 84 YouTube video comments, a summary of the audience feedback on my latest. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I'm at the wrong one. This is about the ring. This was after she located him. Hold on a second. I got the wrong one. There's still another one. There it is. Okay, sorry, the day before. Okay, January 7th. This is definitely it. Okay, I apologize, guys. So Monique Tepe and her ex-husband's 55-page court document. Sorry, guys. There's just a little bit on here. I couldn't remember what day it was that she posted this, but this is everything you need to know about the doc before he was arrested. So Monique Tepe's ex-husband divorced. Their 55-page court document. Monique Frances Sabertursky, I think is maybe her name, her maiden name, and his is Michael David McKee. And Monique Tepe's 7-month marriage and 6-week quickie divorce. Sometimes weddings look so lovely on social media, like this one from August 22nd, 2015, with people wishing the beautiful bride and bridegroom the best. Mrs. Monique McKee, wonderful wedding, such a beautiful wedding, wrote one person. Another person exclaimed, congrats to Dr. and Mrs. McKee, wishing you many years of love and happiness. But oftentimes what we see on Facebook or YouTube differs wildly from the truth that court documents can reveal, if only we take the time to delve a little deeper. If that gorgeous bride looks familiar to you, there's a good reason. Before she was a Tepe, Monique was a McKee. In the short time, the horrific death of Dr. Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique Tepe in Columbus, Ohio, a lot of misinformation has been spread about Monique's ex-husband. His name is all over social media with misinformation. Everyone is searching for Monique's ex, and his name is all over the place. But unfortunately, there are a lot of men named named Michael D. McKee in Ohio. And as we're finding out, he was arrested in Illinois, where he lives. Some have mixed up Michael David McKee with plenty of other men and ascribing crimes or actions to real Dr. McKee that the court doesn't reflect. By verifying the birth date of the correct Mike McKee, I was able to determine he is not the man with the long criminal record, nor the man who married another man shortly after his divorce from Monique. He doesn't live in Whitehall. Mistakes happen. I get it. But this kind of misinformation could ruin a person's career and life. In an effort to clear up confusion and to stop the slander, I received the official court official documents via a public record request. Court documents from 17 DR 1691 PDF. See the link in the comments for documents. Interesting aspect regarding the divorce between Monique Francis Seversky, Monique Tepe, and former husband Michael David McKee. 1. It was an extremely short marriage, even though Monique and Michael can be seen on social media photos going back as far as 2012. Their marriage was very brief. They married on August 22nd, 2015, and separated 7 months later in March of 2016. The divorce proceedings began in May 2017 and were finalized quickly by June 2017. 2. Monique paid for her own rings. In her affidavit of property, Monique listed her engagement and wedding rings as separate property rather than marital assets. Notably, under the column asking why do you claim this is separate property, she explicitly wrote, I paid for both engagement ring $2,500 and a wedding ring $3,500. Monique used a private judge for secrecy and speed. Instead of waiting for the standard court docket, the parties hired a retired private judge. A case referred to Judge Donald A. Cox to oversee the final hearing. The motion stated this was to conduct the hearing in a more private setting at a more convenient time. This allowed the divorce to be finalized in just 6 weeks after the initial complaint was filed. Specific and high-interest debt repayment. This is number 4. The separation agreement included a strangely specific and punitive financial clause. It stipulated that Monique had to pay Michael exactly $1,281.59 for reimbursement of miscellaneous debt. The agreement further mandated that if she did not pay the bill by July 1st, 2018, interest would accrue at a rate of 23%. Wow. A doctor complaining about $1,200. That's a little petty. Living arrangements and geography. At the time of the divorce filing, the couple lived in different states. Monique was living in Westerville, Ohio, working for Nationwide, while Michael was living in Roanoke, Virginia, working for Carilion Clinic, maybe, if I'm pronouncing it right. Standard mutual restraining order was issued upon filing with the boilerplate in the divorce case to prevent the selling of assets. It specifically enjoined both parties from harassing, interfering with, or assaulting or doing bodily harm to the other spouse. Very interesting now that the hindsight's 2020. When we read that the other day, it just because they keep bringing up that it's boilerplate, right? That's what Plunder, I would say, asserted herself as boilerplate. And I think in light of him being the suspect, that might have been maybe misinformation slightly, because it was an assumption being made. Maybe it wasn't boilerplate because they did have such a short marriage. And then for him to be the suspect in this and to look incredibly different than they did on their wedding day. He looks angry. He looks like he lost his soul. Like it ate him up. Whatever happened ate him up. Divorce court is always petty. Yes, yeah, you're right. You're right, ironic. Okay, you're right. Okay. Yes. I agree. So they had this mutual restraining order, and everybody's saying it's standard and mutual, but in light of this, maybe it was put in there because, like I said, maybe he got her where she wanted to go. And once he got her there and away from her family and friends, maybe he changed. Maybe he hurt her. And maybe she realized very quickly, if he can do this to me once, he will do it to me again. I mean, we have to look at it this way. I mean, the guy's been arrested for suspicion of homicide. You know? And think about it. She had a single shot in her chest. I guarantee you, he looked at her and said, "See what you made me do?" Boom. Like, I mean, I just got goosebumps. Oh my gosh. But you know, it just, like that single shot. And I even told you guys that, you know, he was the target. He was the target. This man was angry that he was living his life. That's why he had so many bullets in him. That's why he had so many bullets in it, and it explains why he hurt her too. Would you mind scrolling the document up so I can read? We can follow along. Yeah, it's right here. I'm down here, right here. We're not. I'm talking, so I'll scroll it up when I'm ready to scroll it up. I appreciate you being here. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So petty $1,281.59 reimbursement of miscellaneous debt. Then we got, she's got to pay it by July 1st, 2018 with interest that would accrue at a rate of 23%. And then, of course, this living, at the time they were in different states. She worked for Nationwide. He was in Roanoke. They had these restraining orders. And then the name usage. So throughout, she was using her maiden name. So one of two things happened. She never changed her maiden name. I never changed my name. I've always been who I am. My lawful legal name has never changed, even though I've been married, and I was married for a decade. Or she had already changed her name back, during the time of filing. So I don't know which it was. And then it says, what's in this document? This document is a 2017 court case from Franklin, comment of the pleas. He had a mortgage, so it goes through some of their stuff. Or if you guys are interested in here, so let me just go up since I know somebody is reading this. I don't want to go too fast for you. But that's their case number right here for the divorce. So if people want to order their own, paperwork, you can more than welcome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, MJ. It seems a little odd for me. I mean, there's just, I never dismissed this guy. The ex-husband, I never dismissed him. So, and it was kind of shocking because I figured Plunder would have been the same way. And she was actually shocked when he was arrested. I really wasn't. That's what's crazy about it now. I really was kind of thinking that it was, I did start thinking that it could be a family member. I'll be honest with you. Because they were living this life, and I was starting there, like even today, starting to look at maybe some potential family members. I will be honest with you, because, it's a little far-fetched for a doctor to kill a doctor, but we just had a doctor kill an attorney, here in my state, a couple years ago. So, I mean, we're starting to see these, these types of crimes happen with white-collar people, which is insanity to me. I mean, I can't imagine what a schooling alone cost I assumed it was over jealousy since he was a successful dentist. Yeah, but this was an orthopedic surgeon. Like, he was a surgeon. He looks, I mean, he's got the, he does look, if he was in gowns, he would look like a surgeon. So something happened. There's a reason why she divorced him in 7 months. Something serious. Think about it. If you were a woman and you were with a man for 3 years, what would be the one thing that would make you be done with him? In my book, it'd be putting your hands on, a person. And I think it would had to have been so scary for her that she thought she was going to lose her life, because, I mean, this was a very quick divorce. Very vascular general surgery. There it is, Sammy. Thank you. Oops, there you go. But something happened in 7 months. Yep. I think we're all kind of right there, to be honest with you, Sammy. I really do, because, and I kind of thought that too, because there's something, nobody just gets married and stuff like that in a divorce. The only other thing I could think of is him having an affair or her having an affair. And I think I even said that, but still, they haven't been separated that long. And I've known people to stew. And so I never dismissed him. I'm not surprised at this. I'm really not. This does make sense. This hits all the buttons because we knew this was ultra personal. And we knew it was somebody that knew them personally. I would say that this guy checked all of those boxes. But to think that this guy lived in Illinois, I keep wondering if that letter is true. Remember at the very beginning I told you, let me pull up the paperwork that I have on them. Actually, I might have it up right now. This was this morning's show. I can close that out. No, I don't want to save. Tepe, right here. Hold on. I had some questions on here. Here it is. Here it is. Listen to this. It was the number 3. Was there a note left behind at the dentist's practice, or is this just a rumor? It is stating that Spencer authored the letter and that it might describe being stalked or concerned, fear and pressure, etc. And then we heard the beating on the door days before. If she was being harassed by her ex-husband, why didn't they call the law enforcement? Did he come over there and try to befriend her and say, hey, just thought I'd stop in, and she let him into the house? Maybe the family was there or something. She thought it was harmless. Maybe that's how he got the lay of the land, but he didn't even need to do that. I mean, look how quickly we were able to look at the floor plan. It wouldn't be so hard to figure out where the master bedroom is on that, and simply, talking to some old friends or something that they had in common. Maybe that's where all this happened. It makes me grateful for the kids not being harmed. Yeah, it does. It's scary. It's so scary that this man harbored that much resentment and anger toward his ex-wife. He never got over it. Yeah, we heard that there was some beating on the door a couple days before this homicide, and it was so loud that one of the neighbors called the law enforcement, from what I heard. Now, I didn't check into it. That's why I keep saying from what I heard instead of it being a factual statement, because, again, even the note that we were hearing that somebody was feeling stalked, because I don't know how a man from Illinois is going to be able to pull this off without some type of trips to the area to find out where they lived, where they, I would have to think that he probably may have followed them. And that's even more scary. Think about that these people were being stalked, were unaware that they were literally living there. Who would think of a person they dated 5 years, even, got a divorce from 5 years? Who would be thinking that person that's in a different state is watching or following you? That's just, I don't know. He may have had a second office in Columbus. That's interesting. Yeah, but I think that they would say something like that. But you're right. Maybe there was a reason he was there, or maybe he had some friends there and he was visiting and ran into her and was like, that was my wife, and, followed her home. I mean, I don't know. This kind of stuff creeps me out because I keep, I don't even remember half of the, all my exes live in Texas, I don't know how many. Did I tell you about my history? Do you guys know I don't even remember my 20s? And you want me to remember all my damn exes? I could be having somebody out there looking out my windows right now. I'm like, oh my God. I'm sorry. I broke your heart. I'm sorry. Get over it, damn it. Get over it. My life ain't that rate. I'm just saying. It's not worth killing me over. I went out to Ohio State, so I don't know when he ended up in Illinois. I don't either, but clearly he lived in Illinois and everybody thought he was still in Roanoke, Virginia. So something's happened to this guy. This guy kind of went like major 5 years of just stewing over it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, I mean, in all fairness, I'm not stewing, you know, I'm perfectly fine. I'm just, I just kind of just check that portion out. You know what I'm saying? With everything that went on, you know, over the years, I haven't gotten it right all this time. Might as well take a break type of thing, you know, but I'm not stewing. I'm thankful I ain't stewing. Damn it. But he stewed for 5 years and orphaned 2 children and ruined his entire life. And now he's going to go to prison for the rest of his life after being a prominent surgeon. What in the world would make somebody want to do something like that? You have no self-control over yourself. And again, another person, when are people going to realize you're not getting away with homicide? I mean, we're in 2025, and the only way you're getting rid of homicide is if you are literally have no known ties to the person, carry no electronic devices, and live in the blessed shadows. That's literally the only way you're going to get a hold of, you know, get free or be free of any charges in this day and age, right? Or just hide the body really well and just have the stink on you, you know, where we side-eye you for the rest of your life because you were able to hide the body well. But other than that, I mean, in 2025, people ain't getting away with squat. So why are you guys scheming and planning and wanting to go hurt people? Unless you are ready to just drive. If you're going to do that, you just absolutely have to unalive somebody. Just drive your ass to the police station and say, I did it. Because why even bother running? Ooh, Passion Flower, that's a great question. Because you know what? We know a lot of doctors that do that. What if his career was ruined because he got injured? Because, you know, he was kind of limping. He was kind of limping. I'm telling you, he's limping here. Maybe he has something going on with him. Maybe he can't even do surgery anymore. He's limping here. Unless it's just really cold and his, you know, his junk. I don't need to tell you guys why we know this guy's a man. I did it this morning. If you guys would like to understand how we can identify somebody in these videos as being a man or a female, go back and check out video 1 this morning, okay? Please don't drink when you're watching that. I don't want you to choke, and I do not want to be responsible for somebody losing their life because they can't breathe, okay? So make sure you keep all your hands and legs into the tram while it is moving, and please do not drink or eat food when you're watching something like that. It could hurt you, okay? This is your only warning. You may spit, you know, coffee out your nose. So we won't tell you why we know this is a guy, but we knew it was a guy. Somebody said, you know, this, that it could be a girl, and yeah, they're right. But we had to explain how you can tell. And then you're like, okay, we believe you, Betty. And then I'm accused of crotch watch. So that's kind of where we are. This is the home he broke into now, folks. This is the home he broke into. This is the home he went up those stairs, and this is the home where he shot 2 people. 5 years after he was divorced. 5 years. It was jealousy. I think it was a whole host of things. I think, remember I said that jealousy ain't the one. Who's the one that said jealousy? Who's the one that said jealousy up in here? Did somebody say jealousy up in here? Who was the one that said jealousy? I agree. Hope floats. Hope floats. Jealousy. And I dismissed it. You know what? And I'm thinking that it might have been jealousy. Might have been. Or he was just really, I think it's a combination, though, because it is a matter of the heart, but I think by proxy, it's still jealousy, because why 5 years later? It's because he's jealous that she's thriving. He's jealous that she has this amazing life. Maybe he's still, he doesn't have a woman in his life. Maybe nobody will date him. Maybe he's a weird guy. Maybe he became a weird guy. Maybe he has mental illness nobody knew about until a fateful night when they were alone. And she's like, oh shit, I gotta go. I never want to see that again. There's something wrong with this man. Right? They were married in 2020, I think. Divorced final and... no, these people didn't get married until 2021. I got their wedding. I think it was January 30th, 2021. Let me look in their file real quick. I'll tell you when it was. Oh, excuse me. Let's see the video. I think it's 2021. I can't do it without opening it up, and I don't want to crash the system because I don't want to open too many things and have too many things going, because it wasn't a prepared video, and I didn't put it up here before we started, but I'm pretty sure it was July 2021. I don't think it was 2020. I think it was 2021, but I could be wrong. You might be right. Either way. Yeah, so it about 8 years. That's crazy. It is crazy. It might even be longer than that, because again, I think it was about 4 years. So think about it. It was, but no, now we're here in because this is happening in 2026. What day did she file for divorce? May. She left March, filed in May 2017. You're right. Like, it's almost been a decade. That is insane. That is just insane. They were married 7 months, but they were together for like 4 years. But you're right. See, but you know what? This shows you that those resentments last a long time. Why is this important? This goes right back to Sebastian Rogers. Right back to Sebastian Rogers, doesn't it? Because everybody's like, oh, well, she would divorce from Seth, would she hold a grudge? She's been divorced from him for 8 years. Well, look at this. This person obviously held a grudge. And like, he's living out in a different freaking state. Like, he doesn't even have to wake up every day and look at this woman, have to worry even about running into her. Doesn't have to worry about running into anybody in the family. He was in Roanoke, Virginia when they left, right? And he was in Illinois when they just arrested him. So he wasn't even in the state, didn't even live in the state that she lives in, and he's just stewing. He's just sitting and stewing. What would make anybody just sit and stew like that? Where they just come up and just say, oh, today's the day I'm going to get that biatch back. Like, what? I mean, it's not a funny matter. Mr. Sprinkles, it's nice to say he was stalking her online. I'd have to agree with that. But how long did this stalking online happen? How long was he harassing her for? What other stuff do we not know was happening? How much stuff are we going to find out? So let's go back to Plunder. Plunder's kind of been all on top of this. It's been quite interesting. So again, that's the information that we learned about Mike. And so I was telling everybody about the doc when we went over this, like, don't count him out yet, because he's not gay. Whoever that guy was is not, because I mean, that made sense, right? If somebody, like I said, if you marry somebody and you divorce them 7 months later and then shortly thereafter marry a man, then you found yourself. You thought you were one way, you found out you weren't, you ended that relationship, and you went the way you needed needed to go, what the where your heart really lies. And so that kind of did make sense when it was being, put out there. But again, you got to pay attention to several things instead of just jumping to conclusion. And one of those things is be very careful about the birth dates, right? Just about every single report we get from E-Verify to Truth Finder to a number of other programs that are out there where you can search for people and do basic background checks, they usually always give you at least a month and a year that the person is born. And occasionally you're going to find somebody with the same name, the exact same name, with the same month and year birth date. Very rarely do you have the person with the exact same name, the same month, day, and year, and then being two totally different people. You see what I'm saying? So it does happen. Very, 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 very uncommon, but does it happen occasionally. So wanted to make sure that was there. And so this is interesting. A lot of people did bring up the fact that she bought her ring herself, and I think that that's pretty interesting. Hopefully it says, to be honest with you, it might be why their home was an hour and a half away, so he could not find out where they were, in my opinion. Yeah, and let me look at that map. I got a map in here. I pulled it, and we're gonna get up to it in Plunders. It's up above here, but let me just see if I can just pull it up and look at a picture. Maybe it'll let me look at a picture, but it was of a map to the house. And let me see this, where he was located. You're right. That's crazy. I didn't even think he was that close. I really didn't. I didn't even think he was an hour and a half away. I thought he was much further. How far is Virginia away from this? Let me see where did he live? He lived in, where did he live? This is a this is a picture. This is not a map. Okay. Where did he live before? He lived in Roanoke, Virginia. Can somebody do this? I can't do it right now. I would need somebody's help to help me out here. Can somebody look and just put Chicago, Illinois, just put Chicago, Illinois, and look at, no, scratch that. Where are they living? Ohio. Oh boy. Why do I keep forgetting the name of their town? I think Chicago. Yeah, Columbus. That's it, Columbus. So put Columbus to Roanoke, Virginia, because you got to remember he was in Roanoke, Virginia when they had their divorce. That's where he was. How far away was that? I'm going to wait until somebody comes back with that. Rockland or Rockford. Apparently he lived 7 hours away, where Chicago's only like an hour and a half away from where they're living right now. Chicago to Ohio. Is it Columbus? Yeah, Columbus, Ohio. Yeah. Most recently was living in Rockford, I think. He was associated with several Illinois hospitals. Most recently, Rockford, Winnebago. Right here. Here it is. Which is closer to the Quad Cities of Illinois than Chicago side, they're saying. So Mama Bear and Hope Floats, everybody's saying Columbus to Ohio, 5 hours away. So I want you guys to think 5.5 hours away. So look, if you guys are reading the chat, pay attention to the chat. I can only put so much stuff up here. Spencer worked far from his home in Columbus, Ohio as well. Okay. Well, let's talk about the Doc Michael McKee first. So you got to think about this. When she divorced him, he was 5.5 hours away from her. 5.5 hours away. And how far is he? So we're hearing from somebody else. I said Chicago, that they're saying, no, we probably shouldn't use Chicago. We should probably use maybe, what's the other did you guys say Rockford? Rockford, Illinois? Rockford, Illinois, I think. Maybe we should look at Rockford, Illinois instead of Chicago. How far is Rockford from Columbus? So we got about 5 hours and 27 minutes for Columbus to Roanoke, Virginia, where they divorced. When they got a divorce, he was in Roanoke, Virginia. She was back in Ohio. So he was 5.5 hours away. I want to see how well this changed. Rockford is right outside. Can we just get a timeline? Because I have a theory here. I'm starting to develop a small theory, and I just want to see if there's some basic parameters we can have. Hope floats 6:45. So Rockford, Illinois, 6 hours and 45 minutes away. Okay, well then that kills my theory. Okay, if that's the case, that kills my theory. Because what I was going to say is that, he was 5.5 hours away, and then after they divorced. Okay, that killed my theory. Okay, that makes sense. So he actually moved further away. So now this changes, because I was thinking, because I was thinking that if he was only an hour and a half away, which is what we're seeing over here, unless they were talking about Rockford, maybe he was an hour away from Rockford from Chicago. Let me go up here to the newest stuff here. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay. There it is. Okay, so here's what we know about Dr. Michael McKee. He's a vascular surgeon, 39. It's her ex-husband. He's in Winnebago County Jail. So let's look at where Winnebago is, which is Rockford, Illinois. How far is Rockford, Illinois? That's what we need to do. Michael lived in a penthouse condo in the Perry of Chicago. So how far away is Chicago, Illinois? That's where he lived. The Perry, Pierre. Actually, let me just pull this up. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this up. If it lags a little bit, just bear with me while I'm getting it up. We all need to look at this so we're all on the same page. So let's just do a map. And let's just do a simple map. If we need to move over to Google, then Earth, then we will. Let's go ahead and put Columbus, Ohio. Get to Chicago, the pre. And this is in Chicago. Okay, car. Okay, so that answers all our questions right there. So if you guys see right behind my head, right over here, she's 5. It's still always been about 5-6 hours away from this chick. Okay, so that's really what I was looking for. Okay, I just wanted to find out where is where is he living in conjunction with her. Oh, I probably need to go down. Hopefully it's saying I'm slowing up the tabs. So I'm thinking that this does make sense. So he was out. He was outside of her general area, and he was far outside of her general area, and he stays about 5-6 hours away from her home. So this is a day trip for him. He could go down there on his day off and be back home by evening. Okay, so he could have stalked them. Rockford to Chicago is about an hour. So maybe they were talking about it from his home to his job. Anybody know how long the ex and Monique knew each other before they got married? Well, we know that we see photos that date all the way back to 2012. 2012. This guy held a freaking grudge like what? They divorced in 2017. It's 2026, okay? You're talking about 9 years ago. 9 years ago. 9 years ago, folks. Okay, I believe he had more than one office he worked at, but wouldn't his outfit still be in Chicago? They wouldn't have like a office because doctors are usually certified by state. So you're not going to really have I guess anything's possible. Maybe there's a sector of medicine I'm fully unaware of, but typically doctors are licensed unless they're a traveling doctor that has certain privileges or different credentialing, I would presume. I would think that they're required to be assigned to a specific hospital because they don't have any authority in any other hospital. Doctors have to be a part of hospitals. You can't just have some Joe Blow doctor come in from any place and just walk into a hospital and think they're going to start treating patients. There's protocols in place and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say is I don't see, he might have multiple offices, but I don't see them having him going from Illinois, from being a doctor in Illinois to being, coming to Ohio and working in an office in Ohio. But I could be wrong. He went to med school in Ohio. Yes. And because they both knew each other. And that could have been the contention in their marriage as well that we don't know about, is that, he got a job in Roanoke, Virginia, and her life was in Ohio and she didn't like it. And after 7 months, she was done. And she ain't doing it. So it was a fairly fast arrest, but I think it was a fairly fast arrest because I truly do believe that they had kind of an idea about him. Like I said, he did meet a lot of the characteristics. I mean, height-wise, body build-wise, when we kind of looked at him, much like that's why I was very interested in this story about the lady that left his office, that used to work at his office and then decided to go do her own gig from home. Well, her husband also had the same body figure, but he looked a little bit younger than what we were seeing. So although I did see it and I wanted to bring it up just in case it could have been him, it was a little bit different, but it could have been. But this has to be a matter of the heart. This is brutal. I mean, to go into somebody's home, shoot the husband, the father, multiple times, and a woman one time in the chest. This was brutal. His broken heart. Yep, that's what it sounds like. But he had to have gone ultra, which is crazy because it didn't seem like they had too many problems when they were getting a divorce. But you got to remember, she also fled from the state of Virginia and ran back to Ohio. So I really do believe after this that the reason why she divorced him is something happened when they were in Virginia. He lost his cool. He flipped a switch, and she seen a side of him that she had never seen before. And it scared her. And I think it scared her to the point where she knew it could or would happen again. So I have to believe that he scared her life. He made her feel like she was going to die. That really does, in my mind, explain why this was so hush-hush, while this was so quick, why everybody paid for a very private judge to have a very private and quiet divorce. It's the only thing I can think of a woman that's been with a man for 3 years. What is the one thing that would make you just leave? Just after 3 years say, nope, ain't doing it. And I have to think the only thing that's going to make me do that, because at 3 years, you getting into an argument with your significant other, them calling you a bad name after 3 years probably wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, you don't like it, but is it worth leaving the spouse over? Well, I guess it depends on who you are. Some people may feel, hey, Sonia, may feel it's appropriate to leave if somebody disrespects them like that. Like Kaylee Gonzalez would never allow anybody to call her names or belittle her. She would walk out. I don't know. But the only thing I could really think, him being a surgeon, her not wanting to ruin his career, I just think he had him bent over the barrel. Like, if you don't give me this divorce, I'm going to the cops and telling them what happened. Well, you're going to give me $1,200 that I paid for fine. Let's get this done. That's kind of how I see it. I feel like something scared her. Something scared her, and she trusted her gut and got the hell out of Dodge. And look at this. She goes and here we go. It was her ex-husband. Oh my God. That is just insanity to me. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's insanity to me. Like, 9 years later. Oh, good gracious. 9 years later, folks. 9 blessed years later. Good gracious. This is going to lag on my system because of this advertisement. We got to advertise it. So I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible so we don't jam the system too much. Why did Monique and Michael David McKee divorce? Michael David McKee and Monique Sabertursky got married August 2015. The couple divorced May 2017, the Columbus Dispatch reported, citing court records. At the time, McKee was reportedly living in Virginia, where he appears to have been a part of a surgical residency program. McKee is notably a vascular surgeon who practices in the state of Illinois and California. Okay, there you go. He is dual, California too, Illinois and California. Per the publication, Monique and McKee were separated at the time of their divorce. While an official cause of divorce is not known, there was reportedly no indication of animosity between the two. They didn't have any children together. Do I have a read now? Oh, show full article. Here we go. Okay. At the time of the divorce, a mutual restraining order was reportedly filed. So it seems like that wasn't necessary. Think about that. At the time of divorce, a mutual restraining order was reportedly filed. I'm telling you, something happened, and it was very violent. It was very violent, because when I was going, when my ex-husband and I, we did not have a contested marriage at all, or a contested divorce at all. Him and I agreed on just about everything. Okay, we agreed on just about everything, how we were going to handle things, who got what, whatever. I just wanted out of the marriage. He didn't really want out of the marriage, but he came to acceptance that I wanted out, and he let me out. And we were divorced because when we filed for our divorce, COVID had just hit. So we were down. We had to wait 2 years, a non-contested divorce. And we had to wait. Troll get a therapy. Who's in here? She may have been ongoing thing with him. Guys, if you haven't, I don't know if we have or not. If you need to change the moderation rules to 20 minutes, please, you can go ahead and set that now if you'd like. If it's not set, I don't know if it is or not. So not do something they do. So not just do something that they do. I don't know what that means. Still, it should have been paid by now. Her family snuck her out while he was at work. Yes, sometimes you got to do what you got to do when you got to go. Never been married. I had 6 kids, and I'm with the love of my life, my high school sweetheart. I'm not ready to get married yet. I believe in marriage. I don't believe in divorce, but if marry right. But if you already have 6 kids and you've been together forever, what's the point? What's holding you back? What's holding you back? Tie the knot, show that you care. Give the commitment, damn it. Give the commitment. Just do it. Just do it already. Okay, I'm getting out of your marriage. I don't belong in your marriage. I'm just joking. You do you, but I do believe in marriage. But this mutual restraining order, me and my ex-husband, we never got that. We never got that at all. Hey, Shining Star, it's nice to see you. I wonder how he got in the house. I think they left the door open. Or he followed them. Or he knew so much about her. He knew her birth date. He knew, think about it. They were together a while. They know things. That was one of the biggest things that I had was, because 2023, I was very terrified about the information that somebody else had about me. So, I mean, you get this information. So he knew our behaviors. That's what people weren't looking at here. It was somebody that knew their behaviors, and we missed that. And he would know her behaviors. That's what I'm thinking. Left the door unlocked. Probably the back door. How I see we're practically married. I see we're right. Yeah, there you go. I'm curious about that too. How did he get in? Well, I'm thinking he had to. She had probably had a habit. I probably told her 1,000 times before, lock the back GD door, right? Lock the back door, lock the back door. And he's probably thinking, I bet she's got that back door unlocked, right? But it sounds like somebody was following them. I don't see how he could have pulled this off without following them at some point. He had to have. How long was he planning this? Is another thought process. But anyways, at the time of the divorce, a mutual restraining order, and we keep hearing mutual, and I'm not sure if that's the appropriate word, because why would they have to have a mutual restraining order? Like, we just stayed away from each other. We didn't need an order from the court to tell us to stay away from each other. That's concerning. That's concerning. So that I really do believe she was scared for her life he made her, and it would make sense because he's the one that ultimately took her life, that something happened so bad that it scared her to the point that she refused to go back home, that she wanted to divorce from him. It's the mutual restraining order I just don't get. That's not a normal request in a non-contested divorce, in my opinion. If it's just a piece of paper, then why not get... I think... I doubt the door was unlocked due to having babies in the house. I don't know. When you're in a comfortable home, and sometimes you just forget. The husband comes in after you've already got everything, walks in, put their keys right there, just tired, and just forgets. I mean, it just might be one of these things where they just forgot. And again, I could be completely wrong. They may have had a key under the doormat. It could be something that simple, or hide a key, or a key on top of the light that the kids can't get, but they know about, that she knew about, that he knew about, right? I mean, there's just so much. A lot of, he knew her behaviors. He knew how she thought. So I'd like to know how he got into the home, how he absolutely made entry into the home. That would be very interesting. But I think him being married to her and being with her for several years, I think he knows her behavior and he knows how she thinks. So when cops investigated the Tepe murders, they saw a vehicle which appeared suspicious, and tracking it down led them to McKee, who the car was registered to. He is scheduled for a hearing on January 12th, which will likely be an extradition hearing intended to start the process to move him to Ohio, where he will face charges. McKee is currently being held in Winnebago County, Illinois Sheriff's Office. So you're talking about a guy that's a surgeon. He's never been in jail or trouble before in his life. And now he's a prisoner. Like, what are these? I just don't understand these people. Like, why would you put yourself into this after how many years? How many blessed years? And he ruins his life now? So the ex-husband of Monique Tepe has been charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with her death that left her husband Spencer Tepe, the death of her and that of her husband Spencer Tepe. Michael David McKee, 39, of Chicago, is being held by the Winnebago County, Illinois Sheriff's Office Franklin County Municipal Court records show Columbus police filed an arrest warrant on January 10th, that's today, for McKee, and he was booked into Winnebago County Corrections Office shortly before noon local time the same day. McKee was scheduled for a hearing on January 12th, likely to be an extradition hearing to start the process to return him to Ohio to face charges. Monique, 39, and Spencer, 37, died on December 30th, being found shot inside their home at the 1400 block of North 4th Street in Wyland Park home. The couple died less than 3 weeks after their 5th wedding anniversary. 3 weeks after their 5th wedding anniversary. I bet you he saw them celebrate their 5th wedding anniversary. Maybe that was the catalyst. He couldn't have her, so nobody could, including her own children. I know, Mama Bear, this is creep. No, he had a suspended driver's license for particular reason, allegedly. His license was suspended? A freaking surgeon's license? Wow. Monique, 39, and Spencer, 37, died on December 30th after being found shot in their home. We heard that. Their children were left unharmed inside the home. How did Columbus police identify McKee as the suspect? It sounds like a car. According to documents, Columbus detective identified a vehicle. Remember, we were just listening to that. How crazy is that? We were just listening to that this morning, or maybe it was yesterday or last night. And I'm like, we never thought about the car, the person's walking down the road. I told you, something made me feel, because they lined that person out. They wanted to make sure that none of us would be able to blow that up and put his face on this. And I'm like, they know who it is. You guys remember me saying, who remembers me saying that? I'm like, they know who this is. We've gotten a lot of footage from law enforcement that has been put out here to the public. And this is the first time I have seen them go in there and take the suspect and put lines through them. So you could see the figure, but when you blew it up, it was all distorted. You could literally see the lines that they drew through the figure. So you couldn't make them out. And I'm thinking, why would law enforcement do that? And then it dawned on me, they just need somebody to help them connect the dots to say, that's who it is. I remember, yeah, I bet you, not helpful at all, the footage, I know. But it did describe, somebody could tell by that walk. Somebody's seen that man walk like that before. I guarantee there were several people that called in that did. Of course they did, yeah. And I bet you there were several people that called in and said that looks like her ex-husband's walk or something like that. But I don't think the walk had anything to do with it. I think they identified him, the suspect, as being potentially being the because the first 48, you would be impressed how much information law enforcement finds out. It's amazing. So I have to think he was part of this, part of the sweep early on. And I think what they had to have had something that connected him. And I know what it was. It was the car. It was the vehicle. And we didn't even think about the vehicle. The person walking down the alley for the first time, it was earlier today when we were watching Court TV. And it was this right. Actually, I think I still have it saved where it was. Hold on. Let's just move back. Maybe here?
Away from, if this is in fact our suspect, away from the scene. So,
yep.
And that this person has got a vehicle somewhere.
Boom. Boom. So he had to have had a vehicle somewhere. Told you I still had it. I still had it up from this morning's live. Right? We still had this up from this morning's live. So we have a man walking. One thing we didn't think is, where is he walking to? Is he going to a vehicle? There was a vehicle he parked down the road. He didn't want to park it here. Well, there's a lot of cameras this day and age. A lot of suspects don't realize what law enforcement do is they find cameras and they start taking the cameras and walking down those cameras and looking from all they need to do is find you on one camera. And they can estimate how long it's going to take you to get to the other camera. And they're already looking at that other camera in that time zone to follow exactly where you go. And guess what they do? They ultimately track you back to where you're getting into a vehicle. And then when you get into that vehicle, well, by God, now you're driving off and now they get your license plate. Now they're able to look up that license plate and say, oh, well, this goes to, John Doe. So then next thing you know, you go up there, you knock on the door and say, hey, John Doe, do you own so-and-so vehicle? Well, yes, I do. Do you mind if we take a look at your car? Well, sure, but what's this about? Well, your car was, might be involved in a crime. What do you mean a crime? Where were you on so-and-so date? I was at the hospital working. Was your car at the hospital working with you? No, I actually could have been a rental too. Yeah, could have been a rental too. Then this would go another way. This would go into a rental company. But then they go in there and they realize, oh, wait a minute. He didn't have his car on this day. Well, who did you loan your car to? Well, I loaned it to my friend. He had some car problems. He was having his car in the shop, and I loaned him the car. But it could have been a car rental. And if that's the case, they're going to go over to the car rental place and say, hey, who was renting the car? Geofencing? Who was renting the car? But the geofencing only works as if your phone is in the area. Your phone or something that has internet. If you're using an older car and you don't have a cell phone with you, then the geofencing's worthless. But we find more times than not that people can't live without electronic devices and you can't turn your car off. I guarantee there's going to be a time when it's challenged and car companies are sued by tracking us and not giving us the option to turn it off. It's a major breach of privacy. And, we should be able, if people purchase products, they shouldn't be forced to either choose a car or a tracking device. That's not a choice. So I have a funny feeling this connectivity, they're going to have to find a way for them to be turned off. And right now they haven't been sued yet. But it's only going to take a matter for a criminal to have deep pockets and start going after these car companies because I've looked at the law and to be honest with you, when you look at the papers that you're signing at the dealership, none of them are waiving your right to privacy. None of them are waiving your right to privacy. So you're not waiving your right to privacy, but they're taking your privacy from you without your knowledge or your consent. So we just need somebody that, maybe it'll be something at one of our schools or our law students, every year at these Ivy Leagues, that's how the whole lawsuit with Red Bull, how they changed the wings. They changed where it has to say I think it's WIING or something like that. But they had to change the name because they're it didn't give you, and some law student for one of their extra credits sued them. Did you guys hear about that? And it was, it was interesting. You guys should hear about the lawsuit for, if I remember it correctly, but I'm pretty sure it was for the Red Bull, and I'm pretty sure it was the law students, and it was one of the extra credits or something like that in school, and they ended up suing and made them change their name, change the wings because it's not literal wings, and they're spelling it like they were giving you literal wings. So. The GPS has to be on, right? I have no sense of direction. It doesn't matter whether you choose to use those products. It matters that they don't give you an option to turn it off. That's the problem that they're going to, I think, is the legal winning argument. Not whether or not you're going to use it or you're going to ultimately waive your right to privacy to use that GPS and let them, and knowing it's tracking you. It's the fact that you literally have no choice. You have no way of turning it off, and it's either you walk or you're tracked, and that's not a choice. So at some point, that's going to be, I feel like that's going to be an extra an extra credit project from, some of our schooling or something like that, when they go to the Ivy Leagues and they have those big projects that they must do and win a legal argument. I think that's when it'll come up. But I really do think it's going to be a matter of time before we have options on whether we want to be tracked in our vehicles or not. I think that we should be able to have the option, or for them to find a way for the caches to release. I don't want to make it more difficult for them to find criminals, but I also think that we're giving government entirely too much power over us, and it scares me. And I can see where, in the future it could be used in very dilatory ways, and I worry about that because, our government should be protecting us, and they're not. So it's just something that I think that we need to be paying attention to, is all I'm saying. Illinois. Let's see what else we've got in here. Ex-husband of woman found shot to death with her new husband. Ex-husband of a woman found shot to death with her new husband, an Ohio dentist, on December 30th, has been charged with his murder. Why? Why? See, even my damn computer spies on me. Look at this. Look at this. Do I want you guys to know what I've been searching for? Oh, what the hell just happened? Oh, it went back. Of course it did. Look at this. Let it pull up again. Oh, it shut it off. It didn't. You guys didn't see it. Oh, let me turn this off. This stuff is just, I hate these publications. These publications drive me absolutely insane. So, Michael David McKee, 5 things to know about ex-husband charged in Monique Tepe, Ohio dentist murder. 5 things. So, Michael David McKee has been charged with 2 counts of murder after his ex-wife Monique Tepe and her current husband, an Ohio dentist, were found dead. 39-year-old from Chicago, and is currently being held in Winnebago County Sheriff's Office. As per reports, Columbus police filed an arrest warrant on January 10th for McKee. He was scheduled for a hearing on January 12th, which is likely an extradition, to begin extradition. Monique, 39, Spencer Tepe, 37, were found shot inside their home on the 1400 block of 4th Street in Wineland Park. They died on December 30th, less than 3 weeks after their 5th wedding anniversary. They had 2 children, both of whom were found unharmed inside the home. Thank God. What a monster if they didn't make it. Good gracious. So here are 5 things you need to know about Dr. Michael David McKee. Well, he shouldn't have a doctor as his name. Even though they call him Michael McKee, he is a doctor, and they should strip him of any doctor privileges at all. Doctors are there to save life, not take life. While police are yet to identify a motive publicly for the murders, David McKee, 5 things to know. He attended medical school in Ohio State University, and he has active licenses as a vascular surgeon in both Illinois and California. So you guys were right. He was traveling, it appears, between offices. It sounds like he was all over the country trying to work, per the Columbus Dispatch. He also had a Nevada license, which had lapsed mid-2025. He is among several doctors named in an ongoing personal injury lawsuit in the state. So it sounds like he was over in Nevada, and he has some type of insurance, and he left. The publication also reported. So it sounds like he was in multiple states, licensed in multiple states, but it doesn't seem like, I don't know, are there any surgeons in this office, in this chat, or anybody that has a surgeon in their family? Is it common for surgeons to be licensed in multiple different states? Oh, now a malpractice. Yeah, passion flower. That's what we're getting. There is an ongoing personal injury lawsuit in the state. So he let his license lapsed and he left. His medical licenses do not show any disciplinary history in the state where he has practiced, so he hasn't been in any kind of trouble. Michael David McKee does not appear to have a criminal record apart from a traffic tickets, the publication noticed. And lastly, McKee had a hunting license in Ohio, but it's unclear if the license remains valid or not. Did he come to Ohio to visit? Is that how he, came to know where she lived? And was he trying to stalk her when he visited here? And then something pushed him over the edge where he drove all the way from Chicago or Illinois to Ohio for the sole purpose of taking these two people out. It's just, why? McKee and Monique tied the knot in August 2015 per the reports. She filed for divorce 2 years later. At the time, McKee reportedly living in Virginia, where he seemed to have attended. So the actual divorce wasn't until 2 years later, but it sounds like she left him after 7 months, moved home, and then another 13 months went by, or another year went by, and it sounds like she filed for the divorce. I don't know how that all worked out, but they're saying nearly 2 years later she filed for divorce, because she did file May 2017. So we don't know how all that happened. But they were married in August 2015. So they might have been together longer than we think they've been together. And again, it still comes back to something happened that scared her to the point where she came back home. She filed for divorce, and they had a mutual restraining order. That's a little scary. That to me indicates, at least minimal, there was some type of fear factor there for personal injury by one or the other, okay? We can't determine based on everything we're reading that he's the abuser, or he's ever abused her in the past, because it's not clear here. But we know something happened very, very bad to make a woman leave Virginia, go home, file for divorce, and request a mutual restraining order. Just doesn't make sense unless there was some type of abuse there, in my opinion. McKee was reportedly living in Virginia, where he seemed to have attended surgical residency program. There was no indication of there being an animosity between the two, per the report. Clearly, there were. People that have no animosity don't just wake up one day and decide to go kill their ex-wife from 9 years ago. Otherwise, you never know. Never know, Vince. I'd sleep with one eye open. I'm just saying. Machete Betty, baby. Machete Betty. Maybe I should call my ex and say, hey, guess what? Guess what kind of story I read? Would you believe it? Would you believe it? You got 4 more years. You got 4 more years, Vince. You got 4 more years, and I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I don't understand. I don't have no animosity. My ex-husband doesn't have any animosity toward me. She filed for divorce 6 weeks after marriage. Oh, wow. They said she filed 6 weeks. But no. It took 6 weeks. They got, when she filed it. No. I think you're misunderstanding it. So the way I'm understanding is when she filed May 2017, and they hired a private judge to finish it, and it took 6 weeks from the time she filed to the time the private judge ruled over the matter. It was only 6 weeks. It was only 6 weeks from the time she filed for the divorce to the divorce being over. Columbus police giving a statement about now. Let me see if we got any statement from Columbus police. Do we have any Columbus police press conferences? Columbus police. I'm not I'm not seeing any press conference yet, but one might be coming. I don't know. I don't see anyone right now. So let's go ahead and get through some of this stuff. McKee reportedly has family members in Zanesville area, and growing up, he used to play football at Zanes Bishop High School, Rosecrans High School. Cops had found a vehicle near the scene of the crime, which they believed to be suspicious. Tracking down its details, they found it to be registered to McKee, after which he was taken in. So, cops had found a vehicle near the scene of the crime, and it went back to McKee. He took his own vehicle, guys, it sounds like. That's what it sounds like here. This is exactly what it says. It says cops had found a vehicle near the scene of the crime, which they believed to be suspicious. Tracking down its details, they found it to be registered to McKee, after which he was taken in. That is a Brian Coburn. Brian used his car too and tracked the same way. I'm surprised. I know. No press conference yet. No press conference yet. We'll see if they do give us a press conference. They might do one in the morning. They might do one. They might want to get all the stuff, but look how far he's come. Look at him. Look at how evil and like he doesn't look like he has a soul left. He doesn't look like he has a soul left. Whoever he used to be, anger, resentment, and hate has just eaten this man alive until he's nothing. This man has nothing left in him. He is about as shallow can be. Those sunken in, beady eyes, that chiseled jawline, like this the jawline. This man looked normal when they got married. This man looks demonic to me right now. You know, police said 7 p.m. This is Ohio, so I think that might be 9 p.m. our time. Banner is blocking him. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back here and see where you guys are. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I take that down there. Yeah, he's very, he doesn't look good. Like, his eyes just look very, very sunken in. Now, granted, this is a mugshot. Who looks good in a mugshot? But there's just something not right with this guy here. I mean, for him to go, look at them, look at that husband and wife, for him to go and kill that, murder that. I heard these people were amazing. They were happy, they were kind, they loved each other, they loved their family. Same time zone. Okay, wait, they are the same guy. No, this right here is her current husband. This right here is her ex-husband. So this is Michael McKee, and this is the dentist, Spencer Tepe. So this is her current husband. This is her ex-husband. She was with him for years, married him, had a small courtship, divorced him, and moved back home. She ultimately met him, I think, a year or so later. They got married. They had 2 children. They were living the beautiful, American dream with the white picket fence, and so I picked up something, when we heard that, they had this quick divorce. That was really, I think, the the hook for me, that there could be some stuff we don't know about with this, having that private judge. It was very clear that they were trying to keep a lot of secrecy about what happened. They didn't want anybody really asking any questions. So that's always a concern when we're investigating any of these cases. We see somebody, having quick weddings or divorces, private ceremony, private stuff, private attorneys, private judges, private. Somebody's trying to keep something from somebody. So I already knew that something had to have happened that neither one of them wanted out. Either it was going to hurt her or it was going to hurt him. The key here is she bought her own wedding ring. So we kind of already had a baseline for what kind of guy this doctor is. And I'm pretty sure she didn't want to be with a doctor that made her buy her own wedding rings. I mean, I would not want to marry anybody that would make me buy my own wedding rings, or I had to buy my own wedding ring because they could not afford a wedding ring for me. I mean, yeah, we love each other, maybe in some relationships that's just how things have to go, but when you're marrying a doctor, I would assume that you would expect a little bit more, without being, I mean, and I'm not saying be a gold digger. I'm just saying, when you get it like that, you kind of expect to have, a nice set. Okay, I'm sorry. Call me bougie, which I'm not. I'm a conservative. I'm a cheap bitch. That means this bitch ain't buying her damn ring. I'm just saying. You want me? You putting a ring on it, boo-boo. And I'm sorry, but that ring better be pretty. It better be a Betty ring. it better be a Betty ring. I'm just saying. It better be a Betty ring. Okay? That means it's not got to be a gaudy. I'm not a gaudy person. I'm not a flashy person, okay? But I like quality, okay? I like quality. Don't forget that, okay? Because there's going to be a time. I'm just letting you guys know. There's going to be a time when Betty decides to put herself back on the market. I just want to make sure that we set the expectations, guys. Okay? I just want we haven't put this prime real estate back out there. I'm just saying, okay? I am blingy. I am very blingy. I got blingy shoes. I got blingy shirts. You should have seen the shirt I was going to, but I decided to wear my I'm a Raya effing Sunshine shirt today. Thank you very much. I'm getting married now. I bought my ring. Oh, baby, you kill me. Oh, good gracious, you kill me. Oh, shoot. Let me cut. I didn't mean to do that. Force quit. I don't want that open. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get back to this. Quit distracting me. You guys are so distracting. So the doc he's been charged with 2 counts of murder. God, these people were so beautiful. They looked really like genuine people. It's always the freaking good ones, man. It's all, it never seems to be the piece of garbage parents that just get pew-pewed. They just get blasted. It's always got to be the good parents, It's always got to be this. You never hear about good, well, maybe it's just because we don't hear about it. Maybe, I don't know. But you always, it seems like everything that we get is always the ones that shouldn't go. Like this family, my heart breaks for those babies. Can you imagine being that little girl and wanting to know where your mom is? I can't. It kills me. The thought of what we're dealing with here, it just kills me. It kills me. These poor babies. And then this guy is not even their dad, doesn't even freaking get it. Just insanity. Absolutely insanity. So dispatchers first received a call of concern. We did have somebody come in here from the area that told us, because I was like, I know Jennifer Coffindaffer was really concerned about, the boss calling from Florida. And yeah, I can understand why. It seemed a little weird that a boss from Florida was calling instead of the workers from the office, right? But it's because it sounded like he was his right-hand man. He was out of the office. He really relied on his Spencer to be there to run the office, and he wasn't there. And it probably scared him, and he knows that because he's worked with him for years and knows he would never not come to work. He's probably never missed a day of work in his life, except to probably have his darn kids, And he's always probably been ultra reliable. This is probably the first time something like this has happened, and they knew something seriously had to have happened to him and his wife for him not to be in work, and it probably scared them. And obviously they were right. They trusted their instinct. They acted on their instinct, and they got help quicker than they would have. And unfortunately, if it wasn't for the officer seemed really nice. He didn't seem like he intentionally or willfully went to the wrong house, but boy, it would have been nice if he just double-checked the address, But people make mistakes, but these type of mistakes happen, and that's what, unfortunately, he didn't hear the children inside the house crying. And the children were there, all morning, without diaper changes, without food. It could have really gotten into a really bad situation for those children if not for the people at work acting so quickly. And I can't say enough about that. But what a shame. But I'm not, this is not shocking for me. I kind of felt like there was a possibility of this man being responsible for no other reason than the fact that he was married to her. This seems so personal. And the details in which their divorce happened, I kind of picked up on it. Could it have been, this is my wife, this is my life, this is my home, these are my children type of moment? Well, now we know. Clearly, it seems like that's what it was. It seemed like this man harbored a lot of feelings. Whatever happened, he felt he was the one that deserved her. And he obviously blamed Spencer a lot. And here's something else. What if, now, I don't want to disparage any victim. I don't. And this may not even be true. And I don't even want to say it, but we have, because we still don't know the details, we have to bring up every avenue. And it kind of makes you wonder, is it possible that maybe she had an affair or decided to come back home just to give them a break? Maybe they had a fight, and while she was home, she met him, and that he was the ultimate reason why she filed for divorce instead of them working on each other. And maybe he had that resentment for Spencer because he was the one that ultimately got her. Something like that, maybe, I don't know the details of these folks. They, she may not have dated until their entire divorce was completely 100% final. And, that was that, she didn't want anything to do. They just happened to meet. And it really is a jealousy and a narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic type of thing. This guy clearly stewed on a lot of resentment for many years. There's no other I can't figure out any other explanation for this. And it comes down, was he the one that was out there banging on their door in the middle of the night? And if so, why now? Why now? And I don't know.
A major update in a murder case that has shocked not only Central Ohio, but has gained nationwide attention. Thanks for joining us for this breaking news update. I'm Colin Dorsey. Columbus police telling us Monique Tepe's ex-husband, Michael McKee, is now charged with 2 counts of murder for the deaths of Spencer and Monique Tepe. We'll show you his picture now. 38-year-old Michael David McKee. Columbus police telling us just hours ago, McKee was arrested in Rockford, Illinois today. That's more than 400 miles from Columbus. And here's all that we know about Michael McKee and his ties to the Tepes. And thanks for joining us for this breaking news update. I'm Colin Dorsey. Columbus police.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Apparently I went back, so let me just there we go. I think we're right about there. So we're going to learn that it sounds like he drove 400 miles away to execute his ex-wife and her new husband 9 years after their divorce. 9 years after their divorce, folks. This doesn't even remotely make logical sense. What in the hell would inspire a surgeon, a vascular surgeon, to do this? This blows my mind. It blows my mind, but again, I'm not.
Today. That's more than
I didn't throw him out the window.
Columbus. And here's all that we know about Michael McKee and his ties to the Tepes. We know that McKee and Monique Tepe were previously married, but the couple
divorced in 2017, folks. It is 2026. 9 years ago. 9 years ago. 9 years ago.
Divorced in Franklin County back in June 2017, almost 9 years ago, and the two did not have any children. And it's a case that has gripped the city and left people living in and around the Wineland Park neighborhood concerned for their own safety. Let's take a look back at how we got here. This started when Columbus police were called to a house in the 1400 block of North 4th Street the morning of December 30th for a wellness check. This after Spencer Tepe did not show up to work at his Athens dental office. When officers got there, that's when they found both Spencer and Monique Tepe dead, both of them shot. We also know their 2 children, a 4-year-old daughter and 17-month-old son, were found inside the home, but both thankfully were unharmed.
Nothing can ever bring them back, but getting the justice that Mo and Spencer.
Yeah, I don't think this. This is the brother-in-law. This is the one that compiled and produced their wedding video. He did this. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about whether this man cared for his brother-in-law and sister-in-law. It seems like he did. It seems like this is devastating to their entire family. Oh, well, have an enjoyable time on your date night. Have a great night, Lisa. We'll chat with you soon. We want details, just not all the funny details.
So deserve finding whatever monster is capable of doing something like this. I think it would make not just our family, a lot of people be able to feel a little bit safer.
And that was Spencer Tepe's brother-in-law. He sat down with us for a video call back on the 6th. Now that day, he told us they were focused on honoring the 2 people he described as bright, warm, and loving. Also
they were beautiful. They were gorgeous, both of them.
making sure that their 2 children are taken care of. And just this evening, the Tepe family sent 10 TV a statement. It reads in part, "Today's arrest represents an important step toward justice for Monique and Spencer. Nothing can undo the devastating loss of 2 lives taken far too soon, but we are grateful to the City of Columbus Police Department, its investigators, and assisting law enforcement community whose tireless efforts helped to capture the person involved." You can...
Just sad, just sad. So there is the statement made by the Tepe family. It is absolutely devastating what we're hearing here. What would, I mean, we all know what the motive could be, right? The jealousy, and, I don't think it's necessarily if I can't have her, you can't have her. I think, because if that was the case, I feel like this would have been done a long time ago. But I do feel like there was a shoulda, woulda, coulda moment that started becoming an obsessive compulsive problem. I don't know, golly, 8 to 9 years. I keep pushing. Okay, heck, I'm tired. Yeah, me too. Tell me about it. I'm calling it a night now. We're done. We're kind of done with this popsicle stand here. But, just sad stuff, folks. So just be careful. And good gracious, if for any reason, I don't even know what to say at this point. I guess start making a list, ladies. I mean, do you guys have any skeletons in your closet? Any, crazy exes? I mean, if you do, make a list. Check it twice. He's a psychopath. Yeah, but... what was the trigger? This seems so left field. To me, looking back, it really is. I mean, once you eliminate everything, it really did make sense. It does make sense, right? I mean, we were looking for something that was the matters of the heart. We were talking about the ex. Many people had dismissed him because they thought he was gay, and we clarified that we can't dismiss him yet. I think I just said that last night, that we can't dismiss him. I mean, I think it was Mike, or I can't remember who was in here, and they said about the gay marriage, and I said, no, that's wrong. We have to go back, and that's when I brought up plunder. And we realized, no, this is not a man that went off and married another man. Something happened and they got a divorce. And naturally, we thought that he went off and got married, or had another relationship after Monique. But what if not? What if he really has just harbored all of this resentment for all of these years? And this is just insanity to me. 8 to 9 years later, and her life is all changed. She lives in a different state, doesn't even bother this man, and just boom, out of nowhere, he walks into her house, kills her husband, and then kills her. Insanity. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to share me. Don't forget to subscribe to me. And if you see this little ribbon down at the bottom, you can hit it so you can come right back to this and come right back to this information where we just went over a lot of critical information about Dr. Michael David McKee. We went over the statement from the family right here. We went over some information that we went over this morning. Lots here. We're going to be learning more, but I'm not even sure what this is classified as. Is this classified as jealousy, or is this classified as matters of the heart? Or is it a combination of both? Let me know. Send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. You guys go make it a great day. We're going to be back here first thing in the morning before... Where's mine? Hold on. Before... Let me do it again. Before... Don't move. Church. We will be back here before church tomorrow. That means church starts at 9. That means we have to be done well before 9 so you guys can get over to church, right? So we're most likely going to be not early. You can do replay crew Veronica, but we got a busy day tomorrow because we still have to break this case down. We still don't know what happened to RJ. RJ still hasn't been... Has RJ been found? Crap. We've been so stuck on this because this is breaking information. I don't even know if we've even checked on poor little RJ, Ryan Davis. Let's see if we have any more information on little Ryan Davis. So we got something, Newsweek's bringing it. So now we got some more national interest in this case. This is beautiful. We went from a case that had virtually no... nothing on it, very little. Ryan had very little for him, just a little bit, but not much. And it took 5 days for his name to even get to social media, which again is something that I don't like all in and of itself. I don't know how. I'm monitoring this situation, and then I'm going to start researching this situation, and then I'm going to start fighting back with law. If what I'm seeing is truly what I'm seeing, because then I've got to start getting a hold of police benevolent services. I've got to start talking to, calling training facilities and stuff like that, and start sourcing where the issue is truly coming from. But here, I believe they withheld this case from social media, trying to find this Ryan R.J. Davis, and this was the most problematic decision because a child's life matters. A child's life matters. And when we're dealing with a child missing, seconds matter to a child's life, okay? We don't play when it comes to children. We throw all hands on deck, and it doesn't matter if it's too much for law enforcement. I'd rather have too much than not enough. And right now we're going almost a week without this child being found. This child might be dead. There were some statements that were made by his stepfather on his social media page before he disappeared or before he got arrested that make me truly question the safety of this young boy, because this was the second time in short recent past that he ran away. The first time he came home, the second time he may have been hurt very bad when he came home. Or there's also a third alternative theory because he was near a hotel. And I'm sorry, I don't like the conspiracy charge, the SA charge, and then him being by a hotel. It makes me feel like maybe he was there because of maybe a exchange of monetary exchange for services between his parents and a person or persons at a hotel. And I have a major problem with a design like that. And law enforcement is keeping as much confidential as possible. And this may be a situation where they gave this child to someone and that someone never gave this child back to them. Again, there's nothing that supports that. It's just a theory at this moment until we get more information. But I'm just trying to find ways to incorporate all of the details that have been provided to us in this story. And it's just providing, I think it's providing, and I think this is a good word, a very disgusting, a potentially disgusting reality for this story and this young boy, and this boy is missing. So it really is very critical that we advocate for him, we talk about him, and compare. It's hard to compare this particular case with any of our other cases in the recent past, because a lot of these details are unique to his case. We haven't had a case where law enforcement believes he could be alive, and which also makes me feel like they gave him to somebody and somebody decided to take him for themselves and their own, and never give him back. So there is that possibility that he could still be alive. But there's the other possibility that he was hurt by his family or by another assailant, because we still don't know the gravity of these SA allegations, these conspiracy allegations, and we're not going to hear those until they go to court. If you guys hear anything about this, or their first appearance, or anything that's being sent out there, send me this, because I'd like to know when their court hearings are. I would like to research to find out whether or not. Oh, thank you, Kristen. Welcome to this crazy family. Thank you for subscribing. I would really like to know some details about their court hearings, so we can monitor that and start looking at the details that they do release in court. Because you guys remember, once they start releasing discovery to the defense attorney, we can start getting our hands on it, but we can't get our hands on it until they start exchanging it. Once they start exchanging it with the defendant, then we can start getting some of that discovery requested to ourselves. We can start asking for certain requested items about the case that maybe they're not divulging publicly just yet. So we've got to wait to certain stages of the case before we get there. But the stage may come. Parents are in jail. We're looking for some information. We're looking for what they think happened. And we're not going to hear that until they go to an arraignment or something like that, where they're going to be required to tell the judge what they are charged with and why, and the probable cause to prove that they deserve to move to the next step, right? The probable cause is a very very much a low threshold. It just gets you into the court system. If you can pass the probable cause area, then you move on to the grand jury or the preliminary and then a preliminary hearing. So I don't know what they're going to do in this case, but what I can tell you is that we're going to find out. What Crystal put this say, look up Hunter McKee. Look up Hunter McKee. Why? Oh, you're talking about he was the guy that was on our, that was giving us an update? Because he's the public information guy at OSBI. Doesn't mean he's related, does it? They are related? Are we positive about that? Hold on, I'm about to pull this because I can't let you guys see where I'm going right now. Sorry about that, but I can't. Hold on a second. The same. Yeah, it should. Oh, just the same last name. Okay. Yeah, because I'm gonna look this up and see if they are related, though. I mean, it's you got to remember, Oklahoma. Oh my gosh. I just realized that's from one case and that's from another case. They're not related. He's working the one with Ryan, and he has the same last name as the, oh my gosh. Like, I just got it. I'm a little slow. It's a little later at night. But now I'm getting it. I'm getting it now. Okay, I don't need to look it up then. I can get out of this. Sorry, I can't let you guys see my credentialing on one of my programs. So, yeah, there he is, Hunter McKee, and it's just crazy because he is the OSBI officer, or our public information officer that has been giving us updates on the case with what's his name? Ryan Davis. He's the public information officer for Ryan Davis. This is that's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. Okay, guys. Well, anyways, it has been real. It's been fun. We'll pick this up tomorrow. We'll be going over any new updated information. If you guys are not familiar with our very first show of the day, we just pick up a lot of breaking news. So our show during the day is going to be probably anything about the riots, anything about the fraud investigations in any of the states that are going on right now, any breaking news, plus any breaking news for the cases that we've been covering. We're going to be trying to push 3 different shows tomorrow. We're going to have one that's breaking news first thing in the morning, if you guys would like to be here, or would like to do a replay crew just to get an update on the breaking news of the day. It's going to be about a 2-hour live, 1 to 2 hour live. Then we're going to come back here after church. We're probably going to be speaking about the Sebastian Rogers case. Actually, that's not it. That's not going to be true. We're going to be speaking about the probably about RJ's case and the Tepe case. And then tomorrow night between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, we will be talking about Sebastian Rogers' case. So if I can't do all 3, then 1 and 2 of those shows are going to be combined together. But we're going to do a minimum of 2 shows tomorrow. And Sunday's the day that I try to start planning my entire week. So that's when your guys are going to start. Excuse me, I'm drinking soda and I'm starting to have hiccups, and so anyways, I'll start getting the whole week's lives together. There's only going to be one day this week that we're going to get up early. It's going to be Wednesday this week. Tuesday and Thursday will be next week, but I don't even think next week. I think next week is when I go to Tallahassee. So don't forget, I'm looking for support on January 19th through the 22nd from the Coffee Club. This is going to be the days that we're going to be in Tallahassee. I'm going to try my absolute best to give us a good quality production while I'm on the road, but that may not be the case, so please bear with me while I'm going to come live where I can come live. Some of our conversations may not be true crime. It may be what I'm learning in Tallahassee that I'd like to share with you or memorialize or something like that. So again, if you guys would like to come over and show some love and support, I'd greatly appreciate it. And again, I love you guys. Have a great evening. Have happy Saturday. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. That's going to be kind of our itinerary for tomorrow. And that's because I have not set up any of this yet. Okay. So it's probably not going to be set up until like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And by the afternoon, we should have everything for the week. So you guys can figure out and pick and choose which shows you guys would like to come to, but I'll get them all set up. We're going to have several different shows over several different topics over several different days, and we are going to start utilizing our other channel for actual videos. Did I tell you how much I love making you guys videos? So if you guys get a good video out of me, you guys should feel very, very special, because I don't like them. It takes too much damn time. And you guys don't appreciate the damn work. I'm just saying. All I have to start showing somebody how to edit my videos. I need a video editor. I'm really nice sometimes. Definitely not all the time. You can ask my mods. My mods are gonna kill me. My mods are gonna kill me. All right, guys, I love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, kind to one another. Good evening.